haven't even started this video yet and we've already had like a massive change of plans. Got home from my holiday this morning, had a nap, and I've done a test and I've tested positive for COVID for the 3rd time. Now, the next few days I was supposed to spend the weekend with my partner, have a massage, have a tattoo appointment, finish my sleeve, and go to a photo shoot in Brighton and have dinner with my godmother. And I've had to cancel all of it. It's now the Summerween Readathon. And so I guess I will be doing some more reading, which is a bit crazy because I've just been on a holiday for a week and I read 13 books, 12 books? No, 13. 13 books and started a 14th book. It's almost midnight, I think. I'm feeling a little bit lonely, a bit sort of down, a bit sad because my partner actually got to my house when I tested positive, so he basically just had to go back home, which made it so much harder. It was going to be shit anyway, but with him, like, actually seeing him and then having to, like, say goodbye, even though it's just for a few days, but the fact I've been away as well, it's just, like, a lot. Look at my hair. It's looking crazy. Oh, I've propped you up on my bedside table. So now it's like we're at sleepover, which is great. But let's talk about Summerween. So Summerween basically as a readathon is reading sort of Halloween, sort of horror, mystery, thriller type books in summer. And there are 5 different challenges. Read a book in the dark. I'm not doing these in the right order, by the way, because I'm doing them by memory. Read a book in the dark or at night time. I do a lot of reading at night anyway, so that works. Read a book with Halloween-y covers. Halloween-y colours on the cover. So I'm doing the classic orange and black. I'll talk about what I'm going to be reading in a minute. Read a slasher. Oh, a book with haunted or haunt or haunting in the title. I don't have that yet, but it's on its way and it should be here on like Monday or Tuesday. So that won't be my first read, but I will definitely be getting one and reading it. So I'll talk about that as well. And oh, the 5th one. The 5th one I did actually have plans for, but that might now have changed. Because the 5th one is to bake a spooky treat. So I was gonna like bake a cake or something, but that would now require me to go to the shops, which for the sake of other people and also kind of for my own sake as well, because I'm feeling really fatigued, I will not be going to the shop. Did I mention I've got COVID for the 3rd time? I think... No, I don't think ever. I can't remember. What was I gonna say? As much as I wanted to complete all 5 challenges, I'm just gonna do the 4 challenges because I quite literally can't leave my house to get stuff to bake with, which is unfortunate. Okay, I have momentarily sat up so we can chat about the books. So as I said, there's one book that's on its way, and I think it's called This House is Haunted by John Boyne. Now, I've read 2 books by John Boyne, both of which I loved. Obviously, the classic is The Boy in Striped Pyjamas, but I also more recently read Stay Where You Are and Then Leave, and that was amazing as well. It was so heartbreaking. Sorry. Okay then. So that's on its way, and that will fulfill the prompt to read something that has the word haunt in the title. I don't think I've ever read a haunted house story, maybe one. It's not something I've really delved into. as a genre, so it's definitely gonna be good. In terms of reading a slasher, when I watched the announcement video and when like all the challenges were being read out and stuff, I was a bit like, oh, I don't read slashers, I've never read one before that I know of anyway. But then I realised I actually do have like the classic slasher, which is Carrie by Stephen King. But yeah, I have no experience of Carrie and I know nothing about it. I've never seen any movie adaptations, anything like that. The only thing I know about it from like references in like TV shows and stuff is I think something happens at prom. And if you know the story of Carrie, you're probably screaming at me that yes, something happens at prom. But I don't know that yet, so I'll be finding that out. Oh, beautiful. And finally, the challenge to read a book with Halloweeny covers. I've done it again. Halloweeny colours on the cover. I chose to go for the like classic orange and black. Other people are doing like green and purple. There's, you know, other things you can go for, but I'm going for the classic orange and black because I have this cover, which is very orange and black. It's called Blame by Simon Mayo, and I actually have no idea what it's about, so let's find out together. Ant and her brother Matty are locked up in Spike, a new family prison. Society demands they do time for the unpunished heritage crimes of their parents. Tension is simmering inside the jail. When the tension breaks and a riot begins, Ant realises they've got one chance to break out. It's time for Ant to show the world that they are not to blame. So yeah, my plans are to read 3 books definitely throughout this week. So I've got 2 of them here already, 1 is on its way. But yeah, I'm not too sure what I want to read first out of these 2, so I might read the first couple pages of both and see what I'm feeling. I think I am gonna start with Blame tonight and see what I think of it, because it is such a long book, if I don't get into it then I'll just DNF it and unhaul it and pick something else, and that's fine. But it just means it takes like, you know, a big book off of my TBR as well. And then if I love it, it's like it's been sat on my shelf for years and I finally read it and it's great. So I feel like either way it kind of works. So I'm going to give this a try. Again, don't know how much I'm going to read of it tonight, but I might put some reading sprints on my TV, I think. Hello. It's actually 24 hours later and I am in the same place, wearing the same clothes. I'm feeling not quite alive. But I wanted to update about last night because I did start Blame. However, very unsure. I read the first 4 chapters, which is up to page 28. And so far I'm not into it. And I think tonight I'm gonna like read a little bit further, maybe like, because I'm on page 28, so maybe up to page like 50, something like that, see what I'm thinking, and I will then make the decision whether to DNF it and pick something else to fit that challenge and start reading that, or to continue with it but actually start to really make a dent in it. But yeah, I think my biggest pet peeve at the moment is we've kind of been thrown straight into this and nothing's really been explained. And it's got something in it that I have experienced before. And the one that I can remember it happening with was when I read Maze Runner by James Dashner. Now, the way that it's written is they use a lot of their own slang words, and the slang words are quite silly. They're quite weird, they're quite stupid, and I found them really annoying. It really put me off. And this has the same thing. The criminals in the prisons are known as a word by like the general like community of something like a strutter. Like it just made me think of like a group of drag queens. But yeah, I think I'm literally just going to persist until about page 50. Sorry that nothing's really happened so far. in this vlog, but obviously I have COVID. This isn't what I expected to be doing. There's also a heat wave at the moment. I'm actually a bit worried, I'm going to be honest, because Monday and Tuesday we've got a red weather warning in the UK, specifically in London, where we're supposed to be potentially reaching up to 40 degrees. I'm a pale bean and I'm not great with heat. I get a lot of nausea in my general life. Update you soon about what I'm going to do about this book. Okay, it's literally only been a few minutes since the last time I updated you. I'm on page 36. I just read one more chapter and I've decided I'm done. This book is just really not for me, because another thing that it's doing that I really find irritating is when the author wants to sort of tell us about, say, like, this world's history or their past, you know, how we got to this point. And instead of showing us in some different way, they'll get one of the characters to tell us through a conversation, which just would never happen. You know, like the character will say, well, don't you remember when the Great Depression hit and then this happened and da-da-da, and it's like, you know, they would know that happened because they lived through it. You know, they wouldn't talk to each other like that. And it's just really obvious and really irritating. So, sorry, that's my cookies. So I'm DNFing it and I'm unhauling it, and I need to assess the situation because I need to read a book with Halloweeny colours on the cover. I think it's time to head over to the bookshelf. Sorry about the weird lighting. I'm just sat by my TBR shelves, just trying to work out where to go next. But I actually just wanted to talk quickly about like DNFing books and unhauling, because I feel like I have quite a unique relationship with that whole situation, because I know a lot of people really hate DNFing books. They'll really push till the end of a book even though they're really hating it. They only unhaul a book if, like, you know, it's really, really awful. I've got to the point where literally I will give a book a go, and if it's just not for me, then I put it down and I get rid of it and I pass it on. And I have a pile of books next to my bed, which is like my donate pile. And I have a local secondhand bookshop that I give those books to. And it's, you know, I know people can think like they're not giving a book a good enough chance, but actually you're giving it a chance in a very different way, because you're giving it a chance to impact someone's life. And it wasn't going to impact mine, you know, and there can be so many reasons why you want to DNF. It might not be your writing style. You might not get along with the characters, and that's something that's really important to you. There might not be enough plot. It might read too young for you. It might be too mature for you. All sorts of things. It might have themes in it that you really struggle reading about, or that you find triggering, or upsetting, or it's just something you don't want to read about because, you know, maybe it's your escapism. There's sort of a million different reasons, and I think there's this whole like real backlash about, you know, not carrying on reading a book, or like pushing forward and that sort of thing, and I just think it's silly, and I think it's a waste of time. I would much rather pass it on to someone else who's going to really enjoy it, and sometimes that's friends, sometimes that's a bookshop, than me hold on to it, push through it, and then get to the end of it and know that I was right the whole time and that it wasn't for me. I've read plenty of books where I've got the whole way through and then got to the end and been like, oh, that was a 2-star, it was a 1-star, I really hated it, or whatever, and that's fine. But, you know, a lot of the time I know quite early on if a book's not going to be for me, and if that is the case, then I will just DNF and I'll get rid of it. So let's have a look, see what I'm going to be reading instead. I'm just going to spend this whole video looking so dishevelled. I found a book that matches the criteria, and I think it'll be great because I know that it's got horror elements to it, and that is Bunny by Mona Awad. And I just sort of had a look at the first page and I was thinking, yeah, I'm in the mood to read this. So I think this is going to replace Blame by Simon Mayo. So I think I'm going to get into this tonight. I just read the first chapter. The writing is exquisite and I'm already hooked. I think I need to find some reading sprints. Okay, so I've just read the first 78 pages and I'm so hooked. I don't think I mentioned what this is about. So basically, Bunny is sort of referencing a group of girls. You could kind of compare them to like the Plastics from Mean Girls. And she thinks that she sort of hates them, this main character, Samantha, and finds them really annoying and that sort of thing. But she actually finds herself really intrigued by them and wanting to be involved with them and be part of their sort of clique. And that starts happening and it's all very bizarre, but the writing is amazing. And yeah, I am addicted to this. I could actually read this all in one sitting, I think. But it's actually 2:30 in the morning and I do need to sleep at some point, so I am going to stop there, even though it's really, really hard to do that. Hello. It is... what day is it? Sunday afternoon. As you can see, I'm feeling much better than I have been on previous days. I feel like I'm very much on the mend. And I sort of wanted to get up and start sorting out a bit. I've written myself a little to-do list. So I've just done my antenatal calls. For anyone who doesn't know, one of my jobs is as a birth doula. I want to, so very out of breath, tidy my room, unpack my suitcase for my holiday because I haven't been able to do that. I've kind of just unpacked bits and pieces. Exciting times. Genuinely, with how quickly I flew through the first 78 pages last night and how much I wanted to continue that and just read it all in one go, I genuinely think I could read this whole thing today. So I've decided, because I'm going to be doing some tidying up, some unpacking, just general sort of sorting out. I've been watching lots of YouTube over the past couple of days because I've just been laying in bed. So I wanted to download an audiobook to listen to. And I've actually decided to go for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I have a very battered 1973 edition. I'm basically going into this blind because all I know about this really is that it's set in I believe a mental institution. I also have the film on DVD because my mum gave it to me to borrow. So that's another reason I wanted to read this, because I could actually follow this up by watching the film, which is really, really fun. Also, we have orange and black, so it is Halloween colours as well. So we're sort of hitting multiple sort of good things as to why I want to read this book. So yeah, that's going to be happening as well. So I got everything, oh, look a bit like a mess. Got everything done that I wanted to, and managed to listen to the entirety of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I'm just going to give it a smack bang in the middle 3 stars because I don't really know how I feel about it. I am looking forward to watching the film. My partner does want to watch it with me, so that will be whenever I test negative. He comes to stay over, probably like Wednesday. But I'm actually going to go and have my bath now, and I would like to at least read part 2 of Bunny and just see how much I can progress with that. I would just be happy with that much tonight, so if I don't read any more than that, then that's fine. But I'm going to go upstairs and do that now. It's 35 degrees right now. That's all. Sitting in front of my fan on my sofa rather than my bed because I'm so overheated. And I'm gonna read part 3 of Bunny. Oh, I'm literally melting. It's taken me like all day to read part 3 of Bunny because I've just been having to do it in little sections because I'm just so exhausted from this heat. It got up to 36 degrees, I think, today. Yeah, I have finished Bunny by Mona Awad, and I am giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was really, really solid, almost a 5-star, but it didn't quite have that 5-star feeling for me. And part 3, for me, just didn't hit me in the same way that part 1 and part 2 did. I think it had a bit of a different feel to it, which I'm sure was purposeful, but it just didn't quite work for me. And so my next book is going to be Carrie by Stephen King. I know that it's a bit basic to read a Stephen King book as like a sort of Halloween themed reading vlog, but obviously the challenge was to read a slasher, and this is the only slasher that I own. It's actually cooled off a little bit outside, but it's still very, very hot in the house. So I think I'm actually going to go and read this in my back garden in the dark, which is a little bit scary. I don't know if I'm going to regret that. But that seems like the perfect way to fill the challenge of reading in the dark. So let's do it. Hello, day 2 of the heat wave, and I'm melting once again. However, my package arrived. So I now have this house. Oh, you can't even see it. It's so dark in here. I've got the curtains shut to keep the sun out. This house is haunted by John Boyne. It's actually longer than I thought it was. Like when I opened up the package, it's 350 pages. For some reason I thought it'd only be like a couple hundred because it's like a ghost story type thing. But yeah, 350 pages. So we'll see how it goes. So last night, unexpectedly, I managed to get halfway through Carrie. I am very much enjoying it. It was actually split into 2 parts. One is sort of like the background of her, I want to say telekinesis. I might be saying it wrong. But the kind of background into that and some studies on Carrie and that kind of thing, and that was really interesting. And now today I'm going to be reading part 2, which is the prom night, which is kind of, you know, what Carrie is known for, is this, you know, big horrific thing that happens at prom night. I just finished Carrie, and surprisingly I feel very sad. Like, obviously I knew nothing about this going in, and I'm not going to spoil anything because I think there can be a lot of assumptions that if something is like considered to be classic, that everyone's read it and everyone knows what it is. So if anyone hasn't read this or experienced this story at all, you can watch this and not be worried. But I didn't expect the fact that from literally page 1, so this isn't a spoiler, Carrie is so violently bullied and tormented. And I don't think I've ever felt so much empathy and sympathy towards a character. Oh, I gave it 4 stars, by the way, because the only thing that did sort of irritate me a little bit was, for starters, racial slurs that weren't necessary. Cool. Moving on. Same thing with Stephen King all the fucking time. Also the format, the way that this book is formatted, with like various different like excerpts from these like fictional textbooks and like journal entries and all this sort of stuff, felt a bit disjointed at time and sort of actually pulled me out of the story sometimes, which like is not what you want really. And my partner is also interested in watching this with me, which I wasn't too sure if he would be or not. But yeah, my partner is a big like classic film buff. That's his thing. Reading's my thing. films and stuff are his thing. He's definitely coming to stay tomorrow because I've tested negative for the past 2 days, so that's all good to go. So I definitely am going to be starting This House is Haunted by John Boyne, which you can now see the cover of now that I've got a light on. Hello. Just a quick update because my phone is literally going to die, but I'm going to be finishing This House is Haunted tonight, and it'll be the last thing that I read before the end of the readathon. But I just wanted to say that I feel so much better. I put some makeup on and I got some more tattoos done for my sleeve, so it's coming along. Got a couple pieces to go here, and then I've got a gap over here, but it is definitely getting there, so I'm very happy. So yeah, I'm gonna be finishing that tonight, and I'll probably have to let you know maybe in the morning what my final thoughts are. Hello everyone, just wanted to wrap up this vlog because I have just finished This House is Haunted by John Boyne, and overall I'm going to give it like a 3-star. It is a very basic ghost story, like a classic, like, you know, goes to work at a spooky large house, you know, for a family, and crazy things start happening, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm just going to give it 3 stars, bang in the middle. I liked the characters very much, and I definitely did care for them, which was good. But yeah, in general, just like a very average 3-star. Sorry if you can hear outside, you're literally right by the open window. But this is my little wrap up. So we had 1 DNF and then 4 books that we completed. We had 2 3-stars and then 2 that were in the sort of 4.5 range. So not too shabby at all. Very happy with what I was able to complete, and the colours and everything are very spooky and orange. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's probably quite long. It's actually quite crazy because Summerween just finished and I'm literally going straight into the Dewey's 24-hour readathon, so there's like a lot going on, just a bit non-stop at the moment, but very exciting. So hope to see you in the next video.